Hey y'all, I hope that you're doing well. Today, or tonight, I'm gonna be doing some rambling as per usual, but I've got a new trigger for tonight. New as in one that I haven't done before. I'm sure other channels have, but it will be a first for me. That trigger is gonna be some tape sounds. I've got a old roll of white masking tape here, and I thought it might sound pretty good, so we're gonna give it a try. It does sound pretty nice, if I do say so myself. It kind of reminds me of when you peel that thin plastic layer off of a screen, like a new phone or maybe those car stereos, you know. I quite like it. I don't know how long my soft-spoken voice is going to last tonight. It's already kind of dying out, it seems. I did a lot of talking today, so you'll have to excuse me for that. But I will try my best for y'all. So, I got an interesting comment. Shoot, probably a week or so ago now. It's been a while. Not because I was putting it off, but I kind of wanted to think of how I wanted to put my words, because it's an important topic in my opinion. So, someone had asked how to deal with people bullying them or picking on them. Now, to my understanding, this particular instance is online harassment, not in person. Now, I think the best course of action, if anyone is harassing you online, is to just block them. Do not engage with them. People can just be, unfortunately, very harsh and judgmental. And I think it's best to live your life how you see fit and do the things that you like to enjoy. And if people decide to make fun of you for that, I think that's more of a reflection of them than you. And yeah, I would say just block them. Let it go, just ignore and create distance, become unreachable to them. Now, obviously there are more severe ways of cyberbullying. Things like cyber stalking, or even perhaps they have photos of you that they post in various different places without your permission. There's quite a few different things that can happen, but if it begins to become more serious like that, those are considered crimes. I would recommend calling the police to help you get that situated. If they cross that kind of line, always make your safety a priority and look after yourself. So if it is that bad, please do not hesitate to reach out to your local law enforcement, because it's important to feel safe and be safe. But if they're just being jerks and saying nasty things to you on forums or over a game and whatnot, block them and do your best to just not engage with those kinds of people. They do it because they are unhappy with their lives. It's like the old saying, misery loves company. Don't become company for those miserable people. Don't do it. Focus on being happy yourself. So, for that specific situation that individual had commented about, that is my advice to you. I know it's nothing special, but I think sometimes simple answers can be the most effective. So, but it is terrible. I'm very sorry to hear that you were getting bullied. Nobody deserves that kind of thing. So, things get better for you in the future, the near future. 'Cause, like I said, you do not deserve that kind of treatment. With all that being said, we'll take a little tape sound break, shall we?
meets his pure heart. from a few feet away, he was sitting so triumphantly on his rock, and he seemed like a kind lizard, a gentlemanly warrior lizard. I'm sure he was out fighting evil lizards in the dark to keep his village safe. That's what I imagine. Randall the warrior lizard. Back when I was a little kid, probably around 11, I would say. I guess that's not little, but relatively young. Me and two of my cousins, as well as my older brother, went out on a little adventure, and my cousin had drove us to this spot in one of the mountain regions of Idaho, and there was a small hiking trail that led to a pond that was at the bottom of a small